Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
From Sky 9, Des, this is an armed robbery suspect, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're on the northbound 710 right now, coming through Bell Gardens, headed towards Vernon. You see the suspect, or possibly multiple suspects, inside of this vehicle right here. Not afraid to go over towards the right-hand shoulder, or the left-hand shoulder, the center divider, I should say. Now up to about 90 miles an hour. You see LA County Sheriff's right there. I believe it's LAPD's helicopter that is overhead. It is Sheriff's? Okay, excuse me, it is the Sheriff's helicopter overhead. But northbound on the 710 here, all suspects. So obviously worried about, these suspects having weapons. And considering the charges here, hard for me to believe that sheriffs are going to let this one go, Jeff and Susie.
Desmond, any other information about the actual robbery itself, where it happened?
No, we haven't heard any of that, but they must be aware of this vehicle. This vehicle must have been seen fleeing some scene, and they were able to take down a license plate, is my guess, of how they've been able to acquire this vehicle. And so they had gone into surveillance mode, but with sheriffs, it's kind of interesting. They call it surveillance mode, but you see just how close back that deputy is, and they still have the spotlight on the suspect as well. So, it certainly looks like they are actively pursuing the suspects here. But we just heard about this here moments ago, coming northbound on the 710. So they found the vehicle somewhere south of the 105. And now here we go, northbound, and we'll be up at the 5 freeway pretty soon. Okay, now I'm hearing Jeff and Susie that this started in El Monte. Go ahead.
Okay, starting in El Monte. Of course, the two things to remember here, we got multiple suspects. This is an armed robbery suspect inside the vehicle, so we know there is a weapon involved. Obviously, Susan, when it comes to this, we don't know who has the weapon, if one has the weapon, if they all have a weapon, but there's a number of people inside this vehicle wanted for armed robbery, and of course that brings an element of danger to this pursuit, as it looks like he's getting off of an on-ramp here, off the highway. This is the northbound 710. What's this exit, Des?
Looks like we are going onto the northbound 5. This is that weird exit where you you make the transition on the left side of the roadway. And we are getting a few more details on this one. The armed robbery was reported out of El Monte, and then when they ran this plate, apparently it came back with a felony want attached. So these are the preliminary details that we're getting right now, but the armed robbery took place with a handgun. So that is very stressful for officers, believing that, very, very, very high likelihood that there is a gun in the car.
Well, obviously, they saw the danger in this, and obviously they wanted to stop putting pressure on this driver. And as Desmond was talking about, the LA County Sheriff's Department went into this mode of surveillance mode, as we call it, where they follow from a distance. They still have their ground units, their black and whites on the ground, but they also have that aero chopper, the LA County Sheriff's Department chopper overhead still, but at a higher elevation. That's what they do. So they want to put some pressure off this person, because when they're chasing obviously so close to this person, they might try to speed up even more, and we know that they're armed. They're definitely recognizing the danger of this possibility of what could happen. Even when they make the stop, Jeff, this turns into a dangerous situation because of the fact that we know that at least one person, or possibly all the people inside this car, we don't know how many occupants are inside this car right now, but they could all be armed, as you were talking about.
Yeah, and that's going to require a number of police officers, several cruisers to stop this pursuit, obviously, because if there's multiple people inside, we've seen this time and time again, they may stop and let some people out. You don't know how many people there have weapons. This is going to be something that requires, it seems to be kind of threading the needle here between this northbound 5 and now to an off-ramp, US 101 northbound, it looks like, is what he's getting onto now. Where are we, Des?
Yeah, we just came out of the East LA interchange right there where the 101, the 5, and the 10 all meet. They decided it looked like he was going to go on the northbound 5, then went to the northbound 101. And we just learned a few more details as well. Apparently, sheriff's deputies were trying to pull this vehicle over for reckless driving. After they got the license plate number, that's when they found out that there was a felony want armed robbery attached to the plate of this vehicle. So that's what actually spurred all this. If this person was just driving, pretty crazy, sheriffs didn't like that. They tried to pull him over, then learned about the robbery after the fact. So knowing that now, I mean, we might say that there's a 50-50 chance that there's a gun in the car. Obviously, still too high probability for deputies to take any big risks on.
Yeah, that's true. If you're just joining us here on KCAL 9 News at 8, this is breaking news. The LA County Sheriff's Department pursuing the driver of this car, which we believe inside is an armed robbery suspect. That armed robbery, we do believe that it took place before today, obviously, because there was a warrant out for this person, a felony warrant out. And that, as Desmond was just talking about, was just learned when the Sheriff's Department ran the plate after wanting to pull them over for reckless driving. So certainly many different factors in play here. This is all starting in El Monte. We believe this is all started with the reckless driver. And, when we're talking about just a reckless driver, you think, again, pull over. But this person knew, hey, I have something else out on my record. So obviously they're going to take off.
Got a lot of things going on here.
Sure, exactly.
Now, this is definitely an exit. There's one cruiser behind him. So pick it up here, Des, going pretty fast onto... Well, I guess this is another highway. What is this here?
Yeah, this is the eastbound 10. There's that one-lane ramp from the north 101 to the east 10. So the 10 San Bernardino freeway. So that's where we are right now. It was looking like they were going to head towards downtown, and then, I was wondering if they were going to try to ditch the vehicle in a parking structure or a tunnel. But now they're going east 10. So now we're headed to El Monte. That's where that armed robbery was first reported. So we'll see if that comes into play if we do make it to El Monte. But we're still on the freeway now, eastbound 10. So as far as we know, we've been on the freeway now the entire time. They got the spotlight overhead really quickly, which is great for sheriffs. And now we're hearing that at some point, I haven't seen this yet, but that the suspect may have been tossing papers out the window. So who knows what that is? Why? If there's some, criminalizing papers or something that this person has, who knows? But they obviously know that they're going to jail when this ends, and so they don't show any signs of giving this one up. Yeah,
and so many different charges that they're racking up here, Susie. They may be in jail for a long time. Armed robbery suspect. We also understand a felony warrant attached to that plate of that vehicle. And we also mentioned reckless driving earlier, which may have alerted police to this. This all started in El Monte. The Sheriff's Department is behind this suspected driver, and the LAPD chopper is overhead.
And as you can see, the ground units there on the ground following pretty closely. But at one point, this was actually in surveillance mode, where the chopper Arrow stays above the LA County Sheriff's Department helicopter. Is called Arrow. And Arrow will actually stay above and stay higher at a higher level. And the ground units will just sort of back off a little bit, putting less pressure on the person. But right now, they're following pretty closely behind them, aren't they, Desmond?
Yeah, they have been, even though they said that they were in surveillance mode, or what LAPD calls tracking mode, but surveillance mode with the sheriffs. Now, they are apparently trying to get CHP into place with this one, and we know that when it comes to CHP, they're either pursuing or they're not. So we'll see what happens if they're able to come into play on this one. Eastbound 10 coming up on the 710. So let's see, looking like we're going to keep with the eastbound 10 and not circle back for the southbound 710. Unless they make a last-second move, but no, they're continuing. So now we are making our way into the San Gabriel Valley, into Alhambra, San Gabriel, Temple City, these areas here. And I believe, try to get the make and model. I believe this is a Nissan, maybe a Nissan Altima or a Nissan Maxima.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess, that it was a Nissan, Des. Good guess on that, as that is the vehicle in the center part of your screen, actually just going just below posted speeds on the highway now of eastbound 10. This is somebody wanted for armed robbery in El Monte. Sheriff's Department is behind this vehicle. We understand multiple people inside. This vehicle was also, they ran the plate and they found out there was a felony warrant attached to that plate. And also at one point in time, Susie, they witnessed some reckless driving, which we haven't really seen here since we've gone on live with this. The driving has been maybe above the posted speed limits, but nothing really more, advanced or deliberate than that.
Sure, absolutely. And, you know, we talk about these pursuits. The LA County Sheriff's Department, their protocol is to have 4 units and then a supervising sergeant behind them. So we've been watching, obviously, Desmond talk about how the LA County Sheriff's Department has stayed pretty closely behind this car, despite the fact that they went into surveillance mode for a little bit even. And as we can see there, the helicopter definitely following this one closely as well.
This one's weaving in and out of traffic, no headlights whatsoever. Thankfully, everybody's going in the same direction as this is on the highway, not crossing through intersections or whatnot. But we always get pretty curious about that. We see the drivers in these police pursuits that turn on and off the light like they're going to somehow disappear from law enforcement or something. But we see this over and over and over again. You can see the night sun from LAPD helicopter overhead as he's putting on his brakes. Almost wanted to look like there, Des, that he was going to take that exit, but kind of hard to do from the almost left-hand lanes.
Sure. Going 90 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, definitely. A very common tactic from these suspects, kind of doing that last-second dodge like they're going to get off the freeway. Obviously, authorities totally privy to that. Now, you may have just seen CHP come into the shop briefly. They were just there at the on-ramp, I believe, at Atlantic there, so they should be getting into place on this one. And then we'll see. Yep, here they are right now. So here comes CHP into this, and they are right behind the suspect. And so are sheriff's deputies. So their helicopter will stay overhead for this. We'll see if the deputies on the ground back off. They're definitely going to trail back at least a little bit. And now it looks like CHP is on the lead with this armed robbery suspect.
Well, if you're just joining us here on KCAL 9 News Today, we're coming up here on the 9 o'clock hour. We've been watching this pursuit for about 20 minutes now. The LA County Sheriff's Department in pursuit of an armed robbery suspect, and found out after the fact that they actually were trying to pull over a reckless driver. They found that out when they ran the plates, and they realized, hey, we have something else here as well. So it's unclear if this person is armed. That's definitely one of the considerations they will have when they pull this over, when they pull this person over. Looks like they're exiting the freeway possibly here, Desmond?
Let's see, there's a collector lane here, which allows, so they're actually continuing through. Yeah, so another like kind of fake out there. Looked like they were going to get off the freeway in Alhambra, but actually kept with it there with that, what they call a collector lane, that kind of through lane on the far right. So now you see 2 CHP cruisers in on this one. And again, you know, armed robbery suspects, I mean, we're kind of in this era where so many pursuits are let go, if it's even if it's, you know, a stolen vehicle, or if it was just a traffic violation. But now with a felony want here, armed robbery, this is the kind of pursuit that, you know, authorities are not going to let go. They're going to stick with this one. They realize how serious it is, and they need to get this person off the streets. It's just a matter of how long this is going to go on, and, you know, of course, that's up to the suspect. And
Des, you know, when it comes to law enforcement agencies, some are quicker to, you know, back off of a pursuit, but I've never really seen that when it comes to CHP. Have you?
Yeah, not really. The only time I ever see it with CHP is if it's something more minor and they get asked to take it over, and then maybe when it gets off the freeway, they just say, all right, well, it's not our problem anymore. But this isn't one of those because, again, of the want. Now, we'll see now that I say they were getting off on surface streets, maybe deputies will be the ones to re-engage. But just because they get off the freeway doesn't mean that by law CHP has to, you know, turn it back over. It's not like that. They do have jurisdiction if need be. So getting off the freeway and then making a turn here onto Walnut Grove. Let's see if they're just going to get right back on the freeway or what. But now it looks like we are going to be headed northbound underneath the 10. CHP right there. We'll see. Maybe there will be a good opportunity for a pit, perhaps. So we'll see if that's in the offing.
And that would be the first attempt that we see. The first time we're actually seeing this person driving on surface streets. As far as we've been watching this, is this another entrance onto a freeway, Desmond?
Yeah, I think they are just getting right back on the westbound 10, unless they're going to, So now committing back to the westbound 10, came right into Alhambra here, Walnut Grove, and here you go, headed back towards downtown Los Angeles. So so far this has been a pretty aimless one. We know the Amani connection. We were thinking maybe the suspect was headed there, but then they just exited before Amani and now headed back towards downtown LA.
All right, Desmond Shaw. This is Juan Fernandez now, along with Pat Harvey, taking over for Susie Suh and Jeff Vaughn. KCAL 9 News at 9 right now. We're watching this pursuit of what we believe is an armed robbery suspect going on right now in the San Gabriel Valley there. Desmond, people are just joining us. Can you bring us up to date? What do we have here?
So it all started with LA County Sheriff's deputies somewhere south of the 105 freeway, and they were just trying to pull somebody over for reckless driving. They got up behind them. They got all the units in place ready to try to pull them over. And then when they lit them up, they took off. So they ran that plate and discovered that there is a felony want attached to this license plate number, and it is apparently an armed robbery out of the El Monte area. It's unclear when that happened, but a handgun was used in that armed robbery. So obviously, high concern about there being a firearm in the vehicle. They're just going to assume at this point that this suspect is armed. It's not clear how many people are in the car. Apparently 2 people were involved in the armed robbery, but again, it's unclear when that happened. So we were thinking there's multiple people in the car, but it may just be the suspect westbound on the 10 headed towards downtown LA. Juan and Pat.
All right. You know, what you had said, Desmond, that we saw him right before we started the 9 p.m. hour actually exit the 10 freeway, the 10 east, but he only did it to get back on the freeway. Now he's headed westbound towards downtown Los Angeles, and we've seen him drive in and out of traffic like this on the freeway. Okay, making these kind of moves almost as if he's going to exit. Well, it looks like he is exiting this time, Desmond.
Well, yeah, they were. So all of these ramps here on the 10 have what they call these collector lanes on the far right, where you have the option either exit or continue. And so for whatever reason, that's what we've been seeing the suspect doing. There's another authority who may just happen to be, now that I think of it, because if they have the strong suspicion of this person having a gun, then a pit maneuver is not likely to be used if the suspect gets off the freeway. Maybe we'll have an opportunity for spike strips, but even that, when they believe that a suspect is armed, it really just changes the whole equation for officers.
Yeah, no doubt. And what's really interesting about this case, Desmond, is the fact that the LASD was originally after this guy for reckless driving, and it wasn't until they ran those plates, right, that they figured out that this car was wanted, or this car was wanted in an armed robbery.
Yeah, so this person was just driving around with a felony attached to their license plate, and I guess they didn't think that was enough, that they were already evading authorities, and then they were out there, driving apparently pretty rudely, certainly enough to get the attention of sheriff's deputies, because they had one of those instances where they pull someone over, or attempt to pull someone over for something, and then you find out that there's something far more serious going on underneath that. I mean, we've seen that happen so many times in the past. You think of the pursuits we've had where it's just a simple traffic violation, maybe rolling through a stop sign, and then all of a sudden they're not pulling over, and why are you evading police? But now we know the reason why, because this person is wanted for something very serious, and I think they may just be trying to drag this one out, trying to enjoy a few more minutes of freedom before the inevitable.
And you know what? And just for purposes of news purposes, we're not exactly sure when this felony took place. Right. They can issue these arrest warrants, as well, we know, working in journalism, and at the same time doesn't mean that they will be, if they don't answer the warrant, doesn't mean that they could be picked up right away. So we're really not even sure when this alleged armed robbery happened, or when he became a suspect in this armed robbery. So as you were talking about, Desmond, you're out driving recklessly, and you get your plates run, and here you are in another very precarious situation where 9 times out of 10 they are going to see this to fruition, since it's an outstanding arrest warrant. And not exactly sure where, if he has any, if you can tell from the way he's driving if there is any ideation as to where he could possibly be going, because we don't know that yet, where this started, or do we know exactly where they tried to pull him over, Desmond?
We had first heard about it on the northbound 710 south of the 105. So they were probably following this person even before that, maybe coming out of the Long Beach area. Not exactly clear, but we know that the armed robbery happened in the El Monte area. That much we know. And we also know that CHP's helicopter is coming in to get in on this as well. Will most likely relieve the sheriff's deputy's helicopter once they get here. They just have to come from Fullerton. And, we have been seeing the CHP fixed wing more recently than the helicopter. Maybe the helicopter was down for some maintenance for a while, but their helicopter is going to be coming in with a fresh tank of gas to make sure that they keep eyes on this one from the air as well as the ground.
Well, they've made a transition too. Is on the 5.
Back onto the northbound 5 there in Lincoln Heights, Desmond, and hard not to notice there, but traffic a little heavier in this part of town.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, the 5, 110. I think there was an event. I thought I saw a big line of cars earlier trying to get into Dodger Stadium. So we'll see if that event let out. And it's definitely still flowing. But I don't see any road work or anything like that to slow down the suspect. But there are certainly a number of you know, innocent people out here. That's for sure.
Yes, and they are probably going. Well, they're certainly on his tail, so to speak.
Yeah.
Don't see where they have an opportunity, certainly on the freeway, to do any kind of their techniques that would possibly stop this pursuit or stop this driver. Too dangerous right now, and the speed's certainly too high. Do we see anything happening overhead, Desmond? We know sometimes they could block off exits to the freeway or entrances, but doesn't seem like that would be going on considering the traffic that's on the freeway right now.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't see any ramps being held ahead. Of course, we have seen that in pursuits past, but you know, CHP just got in on this about 10 or so minutes ago, so that's going to take a lot of coordination with the different agencies to do that. Now the headlights back off again, so kind of playing that game as well. I don't know if the thought is, well, you know, I have to turn off the headlights to use my camouflage button. I don't know what's going on in there when they think that that's going to evade the authorities, and then especially when they just turn the lights back on. Always a very weird but strangely common thing that we see in this pursuit. And, you know, going kind of slow now. We were up to 90 miles an hour at one point. Now we've been kind of down right around the speed limit. Well, I say that and then they get up, just creep over the speed limit a little bit. But, you know, the headlights off, definitely dangerous for other people. Not going to see this guy whizzing by him.
Yeah, and 3 choices coming up, right, Desmond? Either 134 west, east, or continue on the 5 freeway north, right?
Yes, that's correct. That will be just a couple of miles up ahead. We're passing by Dodger Stadium right now, and you see just how light traffic continues to be here. But as we get up past Los Feliz and Griffith Park, yes, the 134. Actually, we have the 2 freeway even before that. Everyone's favorite freeway in Los Angeles, the 2 between the 5 and the 210.
Yeah.
We'll see if that is something that the suspect is going to take. I believe that was it right there. So nope, going to stick with the northbound 5 now.
All right, but again, acting, you know, he's playing his little cat and mouse game, if you ask me. But he's about to get on another exit a freeway, and then he certainly gets back right there in the middle of traffic. Do we know what kind of car this is? I guess I'm asking because, you know, sometimes when we've been following these pursuits, we're thinking, well, how long can they go? How far can they go? We wouldn't, we don't know if this guy's on a full tank. You know, we could say that in a very funny way, full tank in more ways than one.
Right.
But right now, let's strictly talk about the gasoline here. But I'm just wondering, sometimes we can try to figure that out, but do we know what kind of car this is?
Yeah, I believe it's a Nissan Sentra, so on the smaller side, an economy car, 4-cylinder engine, so definitely more of a gas sipper, you know, compared to a lot of other vehicles out there. So
4-cylinder.
And, you know, especially, well, yeah, you know, up at 80, it's going to consume fuel a little bit more quickly, but then, you know, getting down to 50 or 60 miles an hour at other times, which is really kind of peak fuel economy. But, yeah, you know, how much gas is in the tank, no one knows for sure. But we have covered some ground now. You think about, we've come from possibly the Long Beach area, somewhere in that vicinity, then came up and went east on the 10, turned around, and, you know, did about half the San Gabriel Valley. And now here we are headed up towards Griffith Park on this northbound 5.
And at one point, Desmond, officers did go into tracking mode, then they re-engaged. Do you know what changed, why they went back into pursuit mode?
It was kind of weird because we saw them call it tracking mode even though they were right behind them and even though they had that spotlight on them. So maybe there was just a little confusion on that one. Kind of strange, but they even though they called it tracking, they certainly looked pretty engaged the entire time to me, and then handed it off to CHP, who is now the primary on this one. I believe that spotlight is still sheriff's deputies. The Oh, they did swap. Okay, thank you, Pilot Dylan, letting me know that they did swap out. So this is now CHP 100%, both from the ground and from the air. May still be some deputies down there somewhere, but CHP here, you see a couple of them here. So you're going to have one of the units probably slowing down traffic, making sure that other people don't get involved with this person, and then you have the lead person there in the pursuit, keeping really good eyes on this person.
We had talked about fixed-wing aircraft, which is, I think I remember asking you that question, Des, because I didn't even know that they would launch a fixed-wing aircraft to actually, what they could do in this kind of pursuit. I thought that the chopper was certainly something that would be more feasible because of the ability of the night sun. Can you tell us the difference, Des, in the fixed-wing compared to them launching a helicopter?
Yeah, so this is the helicopter. That is the night sun there that you can see. They can fly quite a bit lower, and the fixed wing is, whenever you see those signs that say like a speed limit enforced by radar or something, well, that's the fixed wing that's up there, checking on your speed. That's a stationaire. I believe there's it's a three-man crew. I met them one time at Burbank Airport. They have an infrared system on board, although I'm pretty sure their helicopter does as well, but they do not have a spotlight. Wow. And, fixed-wing planes definitely have a disadvantage in a pursuit because they have to be at a higher altitude. They can't just, turn on a dime the way that we can in helicopters. And we had seen CHP's fixed wing being involved a lot over the last couple of months. It makes me think that their helicopter was down for some really heavy duty maintenance. Sometimes, when they acquire a lot of time, they have to go down for a long time for a very lengthy inspection. We've dealt with that ourselves, but their helicopter is back. It's the first time we've heard of them being overhead in quite some time. So here they go, shaking off the rust, and with this pursuit, northbound 5, we passed by the 134. Let's see if they're going to get off. Another little last-second maneuver. Yep, sticking with the freeway here.
So interesting, Desmond, the last few pursuits we've been seeing here in Southern California, they've all been monitored from the air by fixed wing up until the return of these choppers, huh?
Well, for CHP, yeah. A lot of times they may have assistance from one of the other agencies. Like, it's not uncommon to see a sheriff's deputy helicopter as well as CHP's fixed-wing aircraft. We've seen that several times. So, if they're able to, if the other agencies will oblige, they would like to have a helicopter as well as the fixed wing, if that's possible. But they got their helicopter back, so here we are.
Like you said, go ahead, Pat.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say it's so much more convenient, like you were saying, Desmond. A fixed wing is in constant motion, has to fly higher. In a helicopter like where you are, we can follow a pursuit at this proximity, and also we can hover if we need to when it becomes a standoff and whatnot, right?
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, there's some areas where that plane wouldn't even be able to go, like in the LAX's airspace along the 110. That would be a major disadvantage for the fixed wing aircraft, or the shoreline transition, which goes down around Dockweiler Beach. But so yeah, kind of interesting. It's, while we're kind of in the lull of this pursuit, we talk about kind of the compare and contrast, the differences with the fixed wing versus the chopper. Flew for many years in a fixed wing doing traffic, and no doubt about it. I mean, when it comes to stories like this, the chopper definitely the way to go.
Yeah, it certainly can maneuver better. I was just so surprised when you first mentioned that a couple of weeks ago that they even used fixed wing aircraft.
I was surprised too.
You had mentioned, Desmond, that they were trying to stop traffic ahead of this, to slow it down a bit or slow down people. Do you still see that going on up ahead of this? And the reason I asked the question, too, because for a moment there, it looked like he had gotten to some traffic because he had put on the brakes for a couple of times. He got behind some drivers there. So just wondering, well, looks pretty free and clear.
And he turned his lights back on, too.
Yeah, I was actually seeing the traffic behind that one of the other units looked like they were doing kind of the round robins to hold back traffic as this person went by. I'm still not seeing any of the on-ramps being held at this point. So, here, look at you. You've got your lights off, but then you're using your blinker. It's just so illogical. It's just always so strange to see what these suspects do. I mean, if they're obviously, I mean, not thinking straight if they're doing what they're doing here, just running from the police. But always so strange to see this. But all over the freeway, not incredibly dangerous driving. We haven't seen them, blasting between two vehicles or driving on the shoulder or the wrong way on the roadway or anything like that. But lights off, getting up to 80. We've been up to 90 miles an hour at a few junctures as well. And here comes another CHP unit right here. Let's see if they're going to get involved in this one. They're getting up into a different area now, so CHP will often hand off. They have different districts, just the same way that LAPD does, the same way that sheriff's deputies do. So it's not likely that we're going to see the same cruiser being the lead on this pursuit the entire time, because we've covered so much ground.
That's right. And sometimes they do want to pair, fresh eyes on this, even though we've seen pursuits go much longer than this, but they still, as you said, Desmond, sometimes they want to change up and get another law enforcement involved, and just in terms of refreshing, if you will.
Yes, and Pat, just got told by my assignment desk all that talk about the CHP fixed wing. Well, apparently they're going to be in on this as well.
Wow. CHP
is going to have 2 aircraft on this one, and now that we're clearing Burbank, that's going to be good news for them. Well, here we go on the right-hand shoulder now, coming up to Glen Oaks. Glen Oaks, see if they continue with the freeway, driving on the shoulder.
All right, we have temporarily lost our picture there with Desmond, but we're anxious to see if this driver is going to stick on the freeway on I-5. Desmond, are you back?
Yeah, we got you back, I think.
Okay, there he is.
Yes, okay. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we are getting off of the freeway here now at Glen Oaks. And let's see which way they decide to go as we're off the freeway here. Looks like they're going to be headed westbound there over the 5. And look, just right back onto the freeway. So this is really just aimless at this point. I mean, I just don't understand what the plan is here by this suspect as they get ready to go right underneath us here. Let me just pull out a second, and we will reestablish this shot for you as we are. So, we were north 710, east 10, west 10, north 5, and now we are going south 5, just pretty aimlessly here.
Yeah, that actually, Des, I kind of like that shot when you're giving us really a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
It really does, because it shows a longer picture of where law enforcement and traffic is behind this vehicle. But again, here we are. It's anybody's guess as to what this driver is going to do. We try to get some information to find out possibly if it started in a certain area, if that's where this person lives or knows the area, and they'll turn around and try to end it where they started it. But just don't know right now, because he's made a number of different moves. As Desmond said, he's traveled on a number of different freeways. For our viewers out there, we've been watching this now for at least a half hour.
That's right.
If not a little before. And Desmond said this is like a Nissan Sentra, a 4-cylinder vehicle, so certainly not a lot of power. And, if he's driving at these speeds that he is now, that's using a lot of gas.
That's right. And the only time this driver's gotten off the freeway is to get right back on the freeway. So he's just going loop to loop along different freeways, northbound, southbound, eastbound, and westbound. And if you're just joining us here, this is the pursuit of an armed robbery suspect. Apparently, this car was wanted for an armed robbery, as we mentioned earlier. Not sure exactly when that crime happened, but police definitely associated the license plate on this car with that crime. This car earlier tonight was apparently doing some sort of reckless driving on the freeway. They ran the plate, and that's when they realized that this car was wanted in an armed robbery, and this pursuit began. As Pat was saying, we've been on this for about half an hour or so, just watching this driver going at and above the speed limit for the most part. Very light traffic on the freeways tonight with the CHP now in pursuit on the ground and in the air. And Pat, as Desmond was saying, we've got the fixed wing coming back, as well as the helicopter. So a lot of manpower is being dedicated to getting this driver to stop. And as you see here now, Desmond getting close to the Burbank town center there, where the Costco is, and the Walmart in that shopping district there. He's going to zoom right past that.
Yeah, I believe we actually passed that. Now we're getting ready to go by, we're near kind of the downtown district of Burbank off of San Fernando Road, and we're going to go by the largest IKEA in the country, if memory serves, that new one that they built off of Western. We're going to be passing by that pretty soon. And so our intrepid in Simon desk trying to get some more information about this armed robbery, and it sounds like the watch commander at El Monte was unaware of this at the time. So which leads us to believe that this was something that got filed some time ago. Didn't happen today. Definitely somewhere in the recent past, this armed robbery with a handgun, by the way. And I believe we had heard that 2 people were involved with that. Yeah, well, we had, 2 suspects in that crime is what we're hearing, but it's unclear if there's 2 people in the car right now or if it's just the suspect. And, of course, we've got the typical pursuit tint here with the ultra dark, tinted windows, so it's going to be hard to get a peek inside. Haven't seen the lights on at any point. Oh, a little maneuver there, cutting that big rig off with the lights off.
Yeah, that was close.
And now we're coming back to the 5.
And
come back to the 134, I should say.
So we're on the 134 now?
Yeah,
well, we're at the 134 junction.
Okay, and we'll see what this person's going to do.
Let's see if this is going to be another one of those last-second moves.
Yeah, like one of those gotcha. Like he's playing tags.
Yeah.
Like tag, you're it now, right?
Looks like he's staying on the 5 there, Pat, if he's going towards the left. Yep.
Yep,
staying
officially
on the
sticking
5.
with the 5 now.
All right, well.
And it's possible that, sorry, Pat, that CHP is going to try to get some spike strips involved in this. It sounds like they're definitely losing patience. I mean, they have committed a lot of resources now to this, with the cruisers on the ground and 2 aircraft in the air. So there is some talk about that. We'll just see the way this person is driving. It's going to be very difficult. I mean, CHP, frankly, is going to have to get lucky for that to work out, because this person isn't staying in any one particular lane. And so we'll see if that works. We may see that here in the not too distant future.
And we think, oh, they wouldn't possibly do this on the freeway, but we have seen them use pit maneuvers before. And if I'm not mistaken, Des, they've even done it at, well, certainly not at this rate of speed, but we've seen it, no, I'm thinking about a pit maneuver there, but we have seen them throw spike strips on the freeway. And there he is making another one of those catch me if you can moves, going to the right, and then he's going to veer back into traffic. But, I guess that they could figure out sort of a pattern, Desmond, and maybe anticipate which side of the freeway that he's going to be on, where they can actually get in place to put a spike strip down.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be, if they're going to do that, they do it from either, the far right, the right-hand shoulder, or sometimes in the center divider as well. There's definitely a degree of danger doing that, and they have to be communicating perfectly with the units that are on the ground as well as the aircraft. I think it's actually the aircraft that will give the officer on the ground, he'll let you know, okay, this is the next vehicle, this is who you want, he's in the right lane, throw out the spike strip, something like that. But it takes a lot of coordination to do this. Of course, obviously they undergo a lot of training for instances like this, so they're definitely experienced with it. And you're right, Pat. We have seen pit maneuvers on the, you know what? I think that was them right there.
Oh.
It might have been them right there on the ground. Yeah, that was at Glendale Boulevard. So we had heard that they were at Glendale. I don't think that worked out. We'll listen in and see if they say positive spike, but I think he was just too far away from the right-hand lane for police to hit his tires. But now he's got to know, CHP really means business on this.
Yeah, did you see the spike strip at all there, Desmond? Because it's kind of dark there. We couldn't tell.
Yeah, it is pretty dark. I didn't see the spike strip itself. But we had heard that they were at Glendale Boulevard, didn't quite want to reveal that on the air, and it just, went by so quickly there. But, yeah, awfully dark out here on this section of the 5. Kind of surprising. You'd think that there would be more lights on the roadway, but not the case here on the 5 as we make our way back down towards Elysian Park.
Yeah, especially not right now.
Look at that.
Oh, there we are. We finally passed the vehicle, but it seemed for a moment there that he was just out there by himself in terms of traffic anyway. But we know CHP is still right behind them. But from this particular vantage point here, we don't see a lot of traffic.
Not at all.
Which would bode well, actually, for law
Yeah,
enforcement.
it is really
They want to try that again. They want to try another spike strip. Yeah, look at this. Not a lot of traffic at all.
Yep, pretty. Yeah, it is pretty quiet on the southbound side of the 5 at this time of the evening. It is official that spike strip was no good. We heard them say that. So we'll see if they're going to coordinate another one here, depending on which way the suspect wants to go. Let's see if they're going to go back eastbound on the 10. Would be the second go-around if they decide to do that. We'll be coming up on the 10 San Bernardino freeway and then the East LA interchange, which would either be the continuation of the 5, the eastbound 60, or the westbound 10 Santa Monica freeway.
Yeah, speed definitely.
Actually, I'm sorry, we have the 110 first. We're going to pass that first.
Say again, Des?
We're going to pass the 110 freeway first.
Yeah, we're getting ready to pass the 110 right now, and then all those other options I just mentioned.
I see. Well, speed obviously a factor, right, in this pursuit, whether they're going to be using a pit maneuver or those spike strips. When somebody's going so quickly, it really is hard to determine what to use and how to use it. But as you were saying, Desmond, it's clear that they've already tried using the spike strip once, that they do mean business in getting this pursuit, or at least this driver to know, hey, you better pull over because we're going to stop you no matter what.
Yeah, you would hope that it would get through to the suspect. And there's times where it does. You know, sometimes you have a suspect, they'll hit that spike the one time, and then they're like, all right, that's enough, and then they get out. And then so many other times they'll take multiple spikes, and they keep going. The rubber falls off. There's sparks everywhere from the wheels on the asphalt or on the concrete, and they continue to go. Just never know how any one pursuit is going to end. But this one just reeks of trying to run the clock out, so to speak, just to see how long they can stay out of handcuffs, because there hasn't really been any serious attempt from this person to get away.
Right.
Even though, you know, they got the lights off, but they've been using the blinker. They know they're lit up. They've been lit up the entire time. And, you know, I just feel like we would have seen something more diabolical or sinister, I guess I would say, if this person was seriously trying to get away from the police.
And they've got to know, I mean, they're still chasing him. He didn't pull over the first time for just a reckless driving charge, so he knows, you have a warrant out for your arrest, sir. And now you certainly have more reasons. You're going to have more charges behind even, you know, pursuit of, the armed robbery, or we can say alleged armed robbery, of course, until they're proven guilty. But that's what the arrest warrant was for. So now he's just adding more charges to that. And as Desmond mentioned, probably will run out the clock. But guys, how many times have we been here? Now, is he going 10 east now? We have seen some of these drivers actually, can I say, lose it towards the end of a pursuit, where they actually just really go all out trying to get away, and usually they get caught, or they crash, or they try to foot bail. And we've seen sometimes they get even more agitated. Hopefully that's not the case here.
What's he doing here, Desmond? Is he back on the freeway, or is he on? What's?
Yeah, we're on the eastbound 10 again, so we're covering this ground once again. It's deja vu on the San Bernardino freeway as we make our way back towards the San Gabriel Valley, just kind of looping back around. So I don't know, I guess the suspect wanted to go do a little tour of the 5 freeway, and now we're back where we were just about 20 or so minutes ago. You know, wide open conditions, so there was a plan actually to use some more spike strips there, but I think they were farther along on the southbound 5. Okay, this is interesting. Apparently, the unit on the ground is saying that the suspect may have lost a wheel, which is strange. I'm not sure which one that is, because we had heard that them say that the spike strip was no good. I haven't seen this person do anything so erratic that would happen.
Well, the
don't know
car,
if they, collided with something while they were underneath a bridge or something. But we'll see. We'll see how this comes into play. Apparently, one of the left tires.
Well, you would think that they maybe wobble a bit, or sort of
tail
lose
a little bit, something.
Well, we will see. And I know you're trying to get as close a shot as you can on this vehicle Desmond, from the chopper, but just really can't tell from here. But that would be something, and if that was the case, maybe. Well, you said they said it was no good, but you never know. It could be for some other reason.
Is it a front wheel or a back wheel, Desmond? Do you know, so we can keep an eye out for it?
No, they were saying possibly one of the left wheels, but I haven't seen any indication that either of those tires are no good. You know, usually we would see some rubber coming off or some smoke starting to come up, something, you know, from all that friction. So we're just going to have to see maybe as we get to a better lit area, because we've just been in some very frustratingly dark areas here, and you know, the suspect with their lights off. So they're headed over towards. Let's see if they stick with this southbound 710. This is kind of a weird turn. It's kind of unexpectedly sharp if they're going to stick with it. And actually now kind of trending to exiting the freeway here at Ramona. Let's see here as we come up to the, we are getting off the freeway now. Looks like we're going to be getting off here in the City Terrace area.
And if they actually did blow a tire, I mean, it would make more sense for them to stay off the freeway as opposed to try to get back on it. But then again, we've seen things that you know, don't make sense quite a bit sometimes with these drivers, and they are on the freeway. Right? They went back on.
My bad there. That they ended up going on the southbound 710. It was also, they had the option for the Ramona exit. I haven't taken that ramp in a while. It's kind of a double exit there with the Ramona and the southbound 710. So they actually went back southbound 710, which is where we first picked up this pursuit when we first heard about it, off of the 710 and the 105. And so now we're starting to kind of trend back to where this person originally got sheriff's deputies' attention with the reckless driving.
Hey, let's, if we can revisit something that I heard before Juan and I got on the air here, that someone saw this person throwing some papers out the window.
Right, I heard that too.
Desmond?
Yeah, we did hear that. Very odd. But yes, we had heard that some papers were being thrown out the window. That may have been right before we got overhead this. I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't even seen the window down at all since we got on this pursuit. So that may have been pretty early on. Actually, I say that, and I think I just saw something coming out right there. So kind of crazy coincidence, but I saw a little flicker of something coming out there. So, and by the way, you know, CHP committing even more resources now. They're talking about having canines ready for the end of this pursuit as well. So we've got canines, we've got spike strips, 2 aircrafts, and, you know, quite a few of the cruisers in tow on this pursuit.
Well, you know, if they've got the canines, then they obviously are anticipating that this car is going to stop at some point, and maybe sooner than later, especially if it is true from reports that we've heard that this car has lost a tire.
Right. And Desmond, do we know whether or not there's still just one person in this car? Because I know the armed robbery, we've been hearing it was 2 people involved, but in this car right now, we have no idea whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 people inside, right?
Do you see something on
That's right. Yeah, we haven't been able to. Did you see something kind of flickering there too, Pat?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
is that
I've
on the
seen it now,
left-hand
too.
side of the vehicle?
Yeah. So I think that is one of the tires.
There
you
it
see.
is.
Now we're getting a
Sparks, maybe?
better look at it. Yeah. So maybe this person may indeed be getting ready to lose a tire, and we'll see. They're going to continue to try to navigate the freeway with only 3 tires, or if that's going to cause them to get more desperate, or, you know, hopefully get them to give this up. But I'm just not sure where that happened. Might have hit something. You know, this person's been on the right-hand shoulder in the center divider. There's lots of debris there, lots of things that could give you a flat tire. So that's what I'm thinking, because we had heard CHP say that the spike strip was no good when they attempted that earlier.
That was a good catch, Pat, seeing that, because it wasn't now until it's sparking a little more that I could tell what's going on there. And it is, it is happening with more frequency right now.
And that'll be interesting too. They've got to know that, so it'd see if they stay on the freeway, knowing that the car could be, you know, having some issues or some problems. You wouldn't want to just stop on the freeway there. But now, can you see it? It even almost looks like it's tilting a little.
Yep.
To the left. But yeah, definitely sparks coming out,
A lot
even
of
more
sparks
so.
now. Yep.
But no, they're still driving. I would say pretty recklessly across.
And actually speeding up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's pretty ironic. We're going, speed limit for quite some distances of this pursuit, and now this person's losing a tire, and they decide to step harder on the gas pedal. Very dangerous for this person right now, obviously, especially with the way that they're, turning in and out of lanes. This person could very easily lose control of this vehicle if this continues, and that's also going to probably be draining the gas more quickly as well.
Yeah.
More drag that this person is enduring. So, another factor there for however much gas they may have in the tank.
I remember having a 4-cylinder vehicle many years ago, and it just certainly not as steady.
A little lighter, a little noisier.
Yeah, definitely not power. I'm just surprised that they're going this long, but I don't know how long they can go now, because we even see more sparks flying out the left side of this car. So don't know if that. Look at this.
And Desmond, you remember what we reported on not too long ago? What we had that big rig coming southbound on the 5 freeway, I believe near Castaic, when those sparks basically turned into fire and engulfed the entire unit there. So this is very dangerous for that driver and anybody out there right now, if indeed this car catches fire.
No doubt about it. That was, really crazy pursuit that we had covered, and I know that person had lost several tires before that happened, and they just, kept going. But he's got to be aware of this. I'm sure it's a very uncomfortable noise as he's just kind of squeezing by that vehicle right there. Now again with only 3 tires, it's kind of nerve-wracking just seeing anyone next to this person right now. But they have to be aware that they've lost a tire. I'm sure that there has to be a difference in the way the vehicle's handling. Certainly, probably hearing a nasty grinding noise coming from, just outside of the footwell. So hopefully this, brings some sense to this person. But if anything, so far they're actually, driving a little faster than they were.
And this is on the same freeway, basically where we started. Well, from what we understand, in the Bell Gardens area on the 710 freeway. Well, actually northbound at the time. Now they're southbound. But it makes you wonder if we've seen him traverse 710, the 5, 110, 101. And those seem to be maybe the freeways that he's familiar with. Just saying that because he's made so many different turns and getting back and going in the same or just the opposite direction. So, we've heard officers, what we've had on the air with us at the time, talk about what could possibly be going on through this person's mind, and it probably is, I'm going to be caught. This is going to come to an end, but I'm going to drive as long as I can for some reason or another. Now they're trying to make, I thought they were trying to get off the freeway again.
Has he crossed the 60 yet, Desmond?
Oh, yeah, we're well south of the 60. We're down in Southgate. We're actually going to be down at the 105.
Okay, wow.
Whoa. Okay, boy, this is awful news here. Apparently, some sort of debris just hit the Primate's windshield, so that one, I believe, on the left, and so he's backing out, and now this unit is going to take over. And so that's kind of nerve-wracking, and that's, another reason why CHP likes to have, all the law enforcement agencies, they're going to have multiple people in a pursuit in case, something like that happens, or if they have a mechanical problem or any number of things. We are getting off the freeway once again. This person does not like to stay off of the freeway, but here we are in Linwood. Let's see where they're going. This is going to be our first time now on a small residential street.
That's right, and you see that turn there. It's almost just, you almost want to guess that they possibly know where they're going now. We don't know that to be true, of course, but there is that possibility. And now we have a better view of the driver's side of that vehicle, where we can see more sparks. It almost looked like smoke coming out of that tire too.
And they may have actually even just lost another wheel now, according to the lead unit down in here. So
more smoke.
One tire is definitely toast. You see that smoke coming out, and it may be another tire that has deflated. And I'm thinking that this person just hit stuff on the right-hand shoulder. There's so much sharp debris that gets piled up on the right-hand shoulder for Caltrans to sweep up, and if they haven't done that in a while, you get a flat tire very easily. Of course, just driving around LA, you could get a flat tire really at any moment. So unclear what caused all this. CHP's spike strip was not effective earlier, but now on Imperial Highway, and 55 miles an hour with only 2 good tires, definitely not good news.
Wow, and you were telling us, Desmond, parts of this car actually flew into the windshield of the lead CHP unit, and that's the vehicle that we saw pull to the left, possibly to assess what kind of damage they have and make sure, the windshield's not going to come off the car, right?
We suspect.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. It may have been some tire tread or something like that got kicked up. Most likely that's what it was. But it was definitely enough for the one CHP officer to decide that they needed to pull off for this.
Wait a minute.
Up on the sidewalk
now
here
he's
briefly.
getting desperate.
Oh, boy. Okay.
See, this is...
And something else just fell off as well. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
This is
Did it
falling
hit that
apart.
white car?
Almost. It was
Well, you know
pretty
what?
close.
We talked about this. At first, it seems like they know they're going to be apprehended, and everything goes pretty smooth. And then sometimes it just takes that moment where
Yep.
they just lose it, so to speak,
Desperate
and just start,
measures,
and start driving even more desperate. And so now, you got to know, sir, that they're going to certainly stay on you now because they really want to apprehend this person.
And they may have this opportunity very shortly if this car keeps coming apart there on the side streets here, on the surface streets that we're seeing right here.
And he went up on the sidewalk. There could have been pedestrians standing there.
Definitely no time
crossline.
to think, yeah.
So now this pursuit has gotten more dangerous. It's certainly picked up in terms of this. Go ahead, Des.
I don't believe that.
Uh-oh.
Well,
I heard you
we
say you
just
don't
heard
believe
that
it.
CHP said that they
Are
they
backing
just said
off?
that they're canceling the pursuit, which
Whoa.
obviously this has gotten very dangerous. The person was up on the sidewalk, but this is an armed robbery suspect that we're talking about. And I'm honestly shocked to hear CHP
look
say
at
that.
this.
There it
But
goes.
getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Out, and we got, and thinking that there may just be the one suspect. So let's hope we can get Norwalk PD.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if we can
Is
get
he
around this building
carjacking
right
somebody's
here.
car? Did he get in somebody's car?
It looks like he's in front of a motel here. I don't know that they were carjacking anyone. Might have just run up to
Well, see those guys?
up to this business right now.
One
Yeah,
guy
just
was
randomly
opening his
out,
door.
All of it. Just all of a sudden.
He might be in that
Boy,
car.
I don't know if this is the suspect in here or not.
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
don't
either,
know.
but I saw someone opening the door
Well,
to the
no,
driver's
that's-
side, but this guy is,
that's pretty
No, he's
weird.
way too cool.
well, we've seen that before.
Oh,
Is he right
okay,
there?
Okay.
No?
No, the air unit's saying that they have
Well,
him
there
under
they
the
are.
light. He's up. Yeah. There we go.
There
okay,
he
we
is.
got the suspect here. Boy, after getting so dangerous, just glad they decided to. Don't know why in that moment decided to get out and run. If they were thinking they were going to run into a business or something, but
Well, look at him. He's
He
being
looks angry.
belligerent.
well,
Pounding his
Oh,
chest.
I'm walking away.
okay. Oh boy.
There's a canine.
Oh boy.
Well,
he's
well.
getting a canine right now.
Whoa.
There you
boy.
go.
Well, wow.
Oh, dude.
And still resisting here.
Oh, my.
The CHP's got their taser there as well.
I
So,
noticed it.
fine.
Wow.
We may have to run back some video. Juan and Pat, I don't know. Could you remember? Was that person wearing a blue hat and a gray sweater? It happened so quickly that they ran under
you know
that.
what?
We may have to play back
I'm going
that
to be
video
honest.
if you guys get a chance.
I thought they had on a darker colored shirt and it was short sleeve. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
Oh boy.
Boy, CHP better hope that that's the suspect because,
That's what I said. You know what?
yeah. Okay.
We're going to replay it.
I don't know that this is the suspect.
Yeah, we're watching the foot
right,
bail
and if
right
that's
now,
the case-
Desmond. The guy's wearing a black T-shirt and light
A
blue
short
jeans.
sleeve T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
boy.
Okay, and that person was wearing. And
gray-
that person was wearing a blue hat or something. Okay, now they're thinking that that they might be behind the liquor store or something. Now you see the spotlight being over here. That is some very bad news for CHP right there. Okay, they're saying northeast corner of the liquor store at the back door. So we'll come back around, and that is just outrageously unfortunate if CHP got the wrong suspect there. So we're
–
moving around here to where they said they have the suspect, where they had located him. They said they had him under the light.
CHP
this is a really tricky one, though.
And the canine. And that guy in the black shirt, he looked, I don't know, a little heavier than this person. That was apprehended. See, that's the guy. See, he's got on a short sleeve shirt. Desmond, he's got on a short sleeve black shirt.
And a black
light
baseball
color
cap.
pants.
And black shoes.
And he certainly looks a little stockier.
Okay, CHP is coming over now to the liquor store, and they're going to wave people out of the way. We'll see if we can scooch in any more to the left to get a better shot here. Pat and Juan, I have a feeling we're going to be following up with that other person there who was just involved in that altercation with CHP, who may have just been wrong place, wrong time, from all indications that we've seen from our video. But still trying to find this suspect that they said at last check was somewhere around this liquor store, possibly in the back, but we were trying to look back there. It's just an extremely tricky place to try to shoot, but
well, remember when you focused in on this, when we saw him get out and run, there were two guys, and one guy had his car door open, and that's when I said, "Oh no, is he trying to carjack somebody?"
He may be out of here.
And that car pulled off. That car pulled away. So, hopefully they have a better bead on this suspect, maybe being in the store, and hopefully not no one in danger. But I do remember seeing a car pull out of that parking lot, and he ran, to me, towards those vehicles.
Towards the driver's side of that car.
And those drivers, those guys that were standing there, they didn't look too bothered. You know what I mean? They looked pretty calm. Not saying that they knew this person or not, but go ahead.
Pat and Juan, okay, so it's possible that person that we saw get tackled by the canine was involved in this. Driver get out, but now CHP is saying that there were 3 people in that car, and they scattered. So it's possible. We just have to be kind of careful. We don't know, but obviously CHP is thinking that was one of the people in the car, one of the passengers. It's the driver, the one that we saw run over this way, that they're looking for. And they had said that they thought he was in the back of the building, and it looks like they're going to have to go through and clear the liquor store to get to the back, hiding somewhere here. It's just, unfortunately, very difficult for us to get a good angle on this one. But they're going into the liquor store. They have the canine in there as well. They're going to clear that, and they're going to surround this liquor store.
Okay, but we can confirm that there were 3 people in that vehicle. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And, right next to these apartment buildings as well. I mean, it almost looks like if the suspect wanted, could maybe hop onto one of those balconies. But so far, that we keep hearing the chatter that they're somewhere right in this area. So it's probably going to be easiest for the officers to go through, clear the liquor store, go out that back door there, and then hopefully, just get the canine on him right away and finally bring this chaos to an end.
Yeah.
Well, we do understand, Desmond, that CHP has called for an ambulance to treat the guy that we saw get taken down by the canine there. So he is going to be receiving some kind of treatment.
Okay. We're hearing now that the suspect is complying. They've made contact with him. They're putting handcuffs on him as well. So we're just going to wait to see the suspect almost certainly come out here, the front of this liquor store. And then that will be all 3 people in custody. And hopefully we're going to have a code 4 all clear on this very quickly.
So there's the guy that was bit by the dog, Desmond, the guy that they're now getting into custody. Where's that 3rd person? Do we know?
Yeah, we weren't able to have eyes on that. We wanted to get the one suspect there, and saw them run through this liquor store. But apparently, that person. I don't know if they stuck with the car or if they just gave up pretty quickly. But we had heard them getting 2 of the 3 people into custody pretty quickly.
Here we go.
And here we go. Here they are. And that does match the description of the suspect that we saw earlier.
But he's not wearing a black short sleeve T-shirt, or is that the guy that was bit by the dog?
Maybe he put on a hoodie. You wonder,
Maybe
because
he
they did
did-
have on light pants.
Well,
And black shoes. Yeah, you're right, Pat.
yeah, so this person was definitely hiding in the alley, so this is definitely the person that they wanted.
The driver?
But, gosh, yeah, we believe this is the driver, yes.